Someone knocked over the Sylus shrine. That is unacceptable. There we go. Sylus shrine is fixed. Oh dear. Is this because you're pissed that I got him and I've been on my phone a lot more since grinding to get him out so I could record the myth? Really? Hi guys, it's Mimberly and welcome to the channel. We're playing the Sylus myth today. Yes, you know the one that I lost my 50-50 to twice, one where he's a Durgan boy. I have had some warnings. I'm probably going to cry. So I'm going to be keeping this little one close by. I feel like I'm going to need him. You know, he's emotional support cat, even though he's probably one of the reasons I'm always stressed. Because, you know, he's a little mischievous little thing. If you guys have already watched this and you don't want to re-watch anything sad that happens, I do not blame you. So, you know, please watch with caution, as apparently there may be scenes in this that may be upsetting. Hi guys, it's Mimberly. Welcome to the Sylus myth playthrough. Now, I am scared for this because a lot of you have warned me that I'm probably going to cry. I don't know why, because it's just a cute dragon boy, but we're going to find out. So, we're not going to waste any time, we're just going to get straight into it. Once, on the day that I lost everything, I met my dragon. Oh god.
The sorceress has been judged! Greed and evil shall perish so long as His Majesty and the Sacred Judicator protect Sylus for all eternity.
Excuse me?
The sorceress has been judged. Greed and evil shall perish so long as His Majesty and the Sacred Judicator protect Sylus for all eternity.
Scarlet raindrops enter my eyes, while far below they gather into a gargling stream at the depths of the abyss. Though my blurry vision, I catch a flash of lightning ripping through Philo's gloomy night sky. I can't die here. From my periphery to the area in front of me, darkness spreads like an all-consuming ocean. The world descends as the Wanderer's claws close in, their cold, eerie glint like the flash of death's scythe. I won't accept this. There's no escaping it now. I refuse to accept this. So were we judged to be executed then?
I like your eyes. They are beautiful. In them, I can see your hatred, defiance, and greed for life.
I was not ready for Sylus ASMR! The wind ceases and it feels like time is caught in an invisible grip. I close my eyes before struggling to open them again. Oh lord, we're about to see a dragon boy. A flash of white light streaks across an ancient rock wall. There I see a shadow of a massive beast of horns. That's... oh. Chains bind its wings so tightly that if not for the great sword lodged in its chest, its massive form would almost merge with the rock wall.
Make a deal with me, if you want to live, that is.
Oh, so he's been captured in this.
Pull out the sword.
Fiend actually exists?
You don't have time for questions.
In the next instant, the stilled air starts to move again, and a rancid wind howls at the once frozen wanderers leap toward me. Driven up by defiance and fury, I raise my hand and grip the rusted sword. I want to live. Pull. No matter the cost. When I pull the sword, the rust melts away and transforms into light. It surges into my body, mingling with a strand of black-red mist. Amidst the chaos, wings flap and stir up a whirlwind of sand and gravel. I'm thrown onto the jagged rocks, my vision growing hazier by the second. All I can see in the darkness is a single dark red gem-like eye. Enormous wings cut through the land, casting shadows like the ended days over every city in Sylus. On that day, the girl marched for execution, unleashed the fiend from the abyss. So we were marched for execution, I was right. This was long before humans arrived on this planet. Thousands of years ago, dragons ruled over the lands of Sylus. By nature, dragons are wicked. Shut up, phone. By nature, dragons are wicked creatures that feed on human souls. They excel at drawing out the darkest parts of a person's heart, driving humans to turn on one another and become slaves to their desires. The greedier the soul, the more irresistible it is to a dragon. Seen as the embodiment of evil, dragons were a harbinger of the world's end. Wherever they appeared, doomsday followed. That was until the last dragon on the planet was sealed in the bottom of the abyss over 1,600 years ago. Doomsday faded into a forgotten myth and the age of humanity finally begun. Ah! Oh god, we remember the last time we heard this music, people. I feel as though my chest is being ripped open. An overwhelming weight presses down on my body. I'm immobilized. The towering black building looms, its top swallowed by darkness. A scaly beast's claw firmly pins me down to the central platform. What's happening? I can't move. Oh god. I look down to see strands of faint golden light being pulled from my body by an invisible force. It hurts. I struggle to turn my head. Once again, the shadow of a dragon's horns and wings are flickering on the wall where firelight dances. Clarity strikes me and I cry out in pain. Stop it! Our deal! I would be kept alive! Oh, shit. The fiendish shadow lowers its head and its voice pierces my mind.
To be a dead person walking counts as being alive.
Stop! No! In between life and death, an uncontrollable tremor erupts from deep within my soul. A phantom greatsword forms in my hand. It plunges into the beast's chest. Oh! The dragon's pained cry resounds in the hall and the weight on my body vanishes. Clutching my chest, I quickly sit up. As my breathing steadies, I realize I haven't been torn open like I thought.
I vividly recall you saying no matter the cost.
Shit, he has a point there. Okay, seeing the outfit in person makes this a million times better. The giant beast shadow fades away, and from the darkness emerges a man wrapped in a red blood mist. Fuck me! He watches me like I'm his prey. Well, something's no fucking change. And similar to the dragon, he possesses a pair of beautiful garnet-like eyes. I set you free and you saved me. That means our deal in the abyss is done. He slowly approaches me. I quickly stumble as I make my way down the platform. I can barely keep my distance from him. Dragons can only feed on human souls if they're offered up willingly. So as long as I don't agree, you can't eat me. The fiend narrows his eyes and approaches me from the other side of the platform.
Is that it? Instead of claiming your lackluster soul.
Excuse me?
You need to return what doesn't belong to you.
Does he mean the sword? Because, he can punch me with his sword! The dragon curls a finger. Golden light is once again pulled from my chest. You stop! But the more I struggle, the clearer it becomes. A strange unsettling black mist is tangled up within me. It feels like a soul that isn't mine has somehow fused with my own.
It's not that unbearable, is it? Having your soul torn apart and all.
Bruh! The dragon suddenly yanks me across the platform, its blood-red right eye just inches from my face. In a flash, my mind is dragged into an abyssal vortex, and just when I think I'm about to be devoured... Jesus Christ. The wind howls through the Crimson Valley as countless soldiers of the Legion of Justitia thrust their weapons at my chest. I quickly realize this isn't my past, and my body writhing in pain isn't mine either. This is the dragon's memory. Oh no. I gather my strength, tense up, trying to break free from the memory. The valley and the wind fade away like weathered paint. Oh. Traces of light swiftly flow back into my chest. It even pulls the fiend to me. He covers his right eye with his hand and leans over the platform.
Your power.
Uh-oh.
What is its source?
I don't know! I was gonna be sarcastic and say my boobs. That's probably not appropriate right now. My power? That's a question even I can't answer. Before I can think further, a claw-like hand grabs my chin and pulls me closer. Oh god.
Look at me.
Cold sweat blurs my vision as his grip around my neck tightens. I can't help but meet his gaze. A familiar voice resounds in my head. It's unmistakably mine, yet the tone is strangely foreign. His eye... Oh, hold on. We had this from the normal play, from like the standard story playthrough. Wait, hold on. So is that what he meant by save that for the day you actually succeed in killing me? Because we stabbed him and it didn't work? Nah! I want that eye. It's mine. It belongs to me.
It's getting stronger. The scent of desire.
God.
Tell me your desire, and offer your soul to me.
Ah!
Then I shall promise to give you a painless death. Unless you wish to become a minion of a dragon's nest.
What exactly does that mean? Because there has been some speculations about that sort of thing from fanfiction in the past. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that sort of lifestyle. I grip my hand so tight it nearly draws blood. But how could anyone sell their soul to the fiend? I mean... Ugh. I don't want anything.
You fool.
What? Oh my god. His fingers brush over my lip that I bit earlier. There's a tingling sensation, and his right eye gleams with a faint blood-red light. Can't breathe. No, I need to come up with something, anything, as long as he lets me survive. Countless fleeting thoughts that could barely serve as excuses flash in my mind. I only managed to grasp one. Take me back to the Ivory City. I must return.
Your life is hanging by a thread, mortal. And yet you still dare to play tricks.
I'm being honest. I used to live in the sanctuary, but they judged me as a sorceress and threw me into the abyss. I won't accept this. I want revenge. My heart pounds in my chest and my hand trembles as I reach for my dagger. Suddenly, the restraints on me disappear. I'm forcefully flung back to the platform. The dark mist schemes along the smooth surface of the platform, retreating into his palm. As it does, my wounds close up, leaving no scars behind. It's almost unreal.
Lead the way.
Jesus Christ. And that was just the first bit. This is going to be a spicy one, I can tell. Also, yes, it took me money to get this myth, so you're fucking welcome. Oh, I lost both my 50-50, so this better be bloody worth it. And you better like the video so I can get some of my money I paid back. Over 1,600 years ago, after centuries of war with humanity, the dragon, said in legend to bring Phylos' end, was finally sealed in the abyss beneath the fiend-infested Taurus city by the Legion of Justia. This decisive event, known as the Battle of Taurus, led to widespread praise for the Legion. The leader, who drove his sword into the dragon's heart, was revered as the sacred judicator. A monument honouring his deeds stand tall across Phylos, and his followers built a grand sanctuary in his name after his death. Every year, the sanctuary takes in some city orphans in the name of the sacred judicator. It is a place held even in higher regard than the royal palace. When these orphans come of age, a judicator's oracle, dressed in magnificent robes, takes them away to join the Legion of Justia. However, the Judicator's Oracle, who came to take me, threw me in the abyss in front of everyone. The pure white sanctuary stands in solemn grandeur, and the pristine marble floor gleams. The intricate wall carvings are well maintained, appearing new. They looked just like this when I was taken away. The followers gathered here scatter the moment they see the sorceress who was supposed to be dead. As for the guards, they fall apart like dominoes with just a flick of a finger.
Growing up in a cage like this, no wonder your soul is so dull.
Right, you want?
It's time.
You want my soul? What do you mean it's dull? Fucking A. Revenge is important, but so is staying alive. The news of the Fiend's appearance in the Sanctuary must be spreading like wildfire in the city. Once the Legion of Justia arrives to deal with him, I can slip away in the chaos. I watch the last guard disappear from view, pretending I didn't see them as I turn away. Judicator's oracle who judged me isn't here, so my revenge will have to wait. For now, at least. Otherwise... However, the dragon shows no interest in my plan for revenge. He stands in a beam of sunlight deep within the sanctuary. His figure stands out against the pure white architecture, yet he's like a statue that belongs here. Taken aback, I quickly shake my head and move to his side.
What is that?
Following the dragon's gaze, I see the mural on the sanctuary's ceiling. It's at the center is a godlike figure in a bright red cloak wielding a long sword as he executes an evil dragon in the corner. Oh, the fiend-slaying god. The godlike man represents the sacred adjudicator, and that evil dragon getting a sword through its chest in the corner. That's probably you. I can't figure out why he keeps staring at it. Forget the insult. The dragon is drawn without any semblance of beauty. The dragon lowers his eyes, casting a calm, scrutinizing glance over my face. Of course, it's just the artist's take. You're much more handsome and imposing in real life. He looks at the text beneath the mural.
It's been 1,677 years since I was sealed away.
You can read that?
You can't?
It's written in an ancient language that's been lost to time. Nobody can read it anymore. What's it say? The fiend looks at the ceiling again.
The Fiend is the very essence of malice and greed, skilled at twisting human desires. He drives mortals to turn against each other, leading them to their own demise. Given time, the world will be swallowed by chaos and descend into ruination. The Fiend's arrival marks the onset of Doomsday.
Fuck me. Also, sorry, just really quickly sticking my nail back down. Because these nails, don't get me wrong, it's fun to do them and all, but they are terrible because they bend so bloody easily. Honestly, I swear I spend more time doing my nails than I do YouTube recording, but I can't afford to go to a nail salon every 3 weeks. Plus,
during the Battle of Taurus, the sacred Judicator with a will of iron stood firm against the corruption of evil.
He looks like he's so amused by this.
In a war so fierce, he emerged as the sole honorable survivor.
I bet you know that's not
what
happened.
He sealed away the Fiend, the very harbinger of Doomsday, deep within the planet's chasm. With the curse of Doomsday lifted, hope was restored to Sylus.
We heard the Fiend, which is you, has Destin's arch nemesis. This individual must be the sacred Judicator, correct?
What a lofty title.
Yeah, the story sounds pretty fake to me too. Sunlight spills through the sanctuary's entrance. The silence is so intense that it's unsettling. The Legion of Justia still hasn't arrived. If there's no one holding back, I can't escape. I try to think of other ways to stall, so I quickly shift the conversation. Yes, this is the resting place of your arch nemesis. The sacred Judicator in the mural might be long dead, but his ashes are kept here. There is even a statue of him in the inner hall. I sit on the armrest of a bench. Feigning excitement, I rest my chin in my hand and look at the Fiend. So, what's your pick for revenge? Slash it a bit, douse it in ink, cover it with curses, or scatter his ashes across the streets? He falls silent again. I look over and see his countenance veiled in a soft light. It's difficult to discern the emotions hidden underneath. This man trapped you in the abyss for over 1,000 years while he was worshipped as a hero, basking in glory.
Are you referring to that glory built upon ignorant faith? Do you expect me to envy such foolishness?
But... Oh. Adjust to your arrow, forged from golden ore and crackling with electricity, cuts through the air right as I speak. Finally! Next to me, the Fiend raises his hand and makes a pinching motion. The flying arrow immediately disintegrates into particles.
How boring.
Right before the next attack, the sanctuary is engulfed in a dazzling light that blinds everyone present with its radiance. Ow! Behind the silver light, blades charge straight for the fiend. They're accompanied by the sound of hurried footsteps. I step back and look for an opportunity to run outside.
How impudent.
I hear the crisp snap of his fingers behind me. A sharp pain suddenly surges from deep within my chest as if my soul has been taken. I can't move. My limbs stiffen and move uncontrollably, forcing me to turn around. I gasp as I take in the sight before me. The guards are tearing into each other like marionettes on invisible strings, slashing, ripping, and killing without mercy. Blood spatters across the engraved walls. Jesus Christ, Sylus! The candelabras are toppled amidst the chaos, setting the drapes ablaze. The stained glass windows, once vibrant, now cast an ominous red glow, reflecting a twisted version of purgatory. Haunting wails and screams echo through the sanctuary. The fiend watches as the place descends into a blood-soaked inferno. He scoffs.
Even after all these years, mortals are still foolish to the last.
Nah, the way he just turns around and looks at me. Oh my god. As light streams in through the stained glass, I can see the fiend's blood-splattered face and the cold, cruel curve of his lips.
Come.
Ah! Oh! Oh my god. Please tell me my brain did not... I'm the only person here whose brain didn't go to a certain type of cum there. His eye. It must be his eye manipulating everything.
You're only somewhat clever, but it's still a pitiful display.
Hey, I can be intelligent
If
when
you're
I want
planning
to
to kill with a borrowed knife, you'd better make sure the blade is sharp enough.
The familiar excruciating pain tears through my flesh once more, and the faint golden light mixed with the black mist is once again pulled from my body. His eye, it should be mine.
Even on the brink of death, you still dare to covet my eye. You greedy fool.
Oh!
What a shame.
Wait, you can kill me whenever you like, but if you spare me, I can help you achieve more, and... I bite my lip hard, forcing myself to stay calm and steady as I speak to him. I want to live and I want your eye. It's like how you want my soul. Is there a problem with that? It's just too bad that I'm not as strong as you. Oh my god. The grip around my neck suddenly loosens.
You said you could help me achieve more. Give me an example.
I didn't think this far ahead. I take 2 steps back. I cover my neck as I steady myself. My mind races, scrambling for anything a dragon might want. I can help you amass a large amount of wealth and collect a lot of souls. Whatever you need, I can get it for you. In the next moment, my body is lifted off the ground as he soars into the sky. What are you doing now?
Ask again, and I'll devour you whole.
If it is a certain type of devourer, I would not mind that as much. With a snap of his fingers, energy erupts from the flames. The columns of fire rise upward and stain the clouds in a mesmerizing crimson hues. The ground shakes, and the magnificent solemn sanctuary at the heart of the city quickly crumbles into ruins.
For something as tedious as revenge, this will suffice. No need for a spectacle.
Oh my god. The wind sweeps up the screams and shouts of terror. The fiend holds me and flaps his wings as he flies off into the blazing sunset. Whoa! Oh my god. This is just the second one! Before the sun disappears under the horizon, we chase the last fragment of light. We find ourselves in a lair perched atop a cliff. As I look down in midair, the cliff and lair form a breathtaking sight between the peaks, like the skeleton of a dragon poised to take flight. He lands on the other side where the lightning is noticeably better, and there are no blood-soaked stone platforms. Is this your home?
Have you ever met a fiend with a home?
After the dragon puts me down, although it feels like I was dropped, he drags his tail along a stone staircase to the upper level of the cave. Seeing that he isn't trying to restrain me, I turn and run towards this cave's entrance. Oh my god. Pebbles roll off the cliff, but I can't hear them fall. I stop just in time to stare at the sheer cliffside outside. My heart sinks into the depths of despair. Fine, if I can't go back to the Ivory City, I guess this dragon's lair will have to do. Light illuminates the cave every so often. I followed the faint glow up the stone steps and catch up to the figure ahead of me. I suppose you won't be eating my soul for now?
Assuming that was still the case, why would I even bring you back here? Stay put.
Of course I don't believe this dragon spared me just because I can help him make money, but I don't know what he has planned for me. I walk up to him and continue our conversation. If I'm gonna live here, my living quarters should at least be decent. Your cave is too, basic. What do you think? Following the spiral stone staircase to the top of the cave, I feel as if I stepped into a world that never sees the light. The dragon stops walking. His tail coils around my waist and lifts me to the final step. With a cold, lowered gaze, he stares at me.
Choose.
Huh? Choose what? Unspoken words catch in my throat as I watch him snap his fingers. He releases an energy orb that floats into the cave's depths. One by one, red flames ignite as far as the eye can see. My surroundings are illuminated by their shimmering light. Before me is an endless array of treasures and luxurious garments.
You are not interested?
I don't know what are you up to? You'd really give these to me?
Why not? You're also mine now.
What? Okay. His tail wraps around me again. My body is turned around and pushed toward the treasure trove. The dragon's lair hasn't been visited for a long time. I make my way to a pile of gold, clear away thick cobwebs, and spot an old toppled sword racked behind it. I lift the nearly rotted wood and pick up a dagger that glints with a cold, sharp light.
It's called the Fiend Bane. Legends say you could plunge it into a dragon's heart and twist it 3 times to completely shatter the dragon's soul.
The fact that he's letting us have that. Jesus. I set the dagger down and notice an open box to my right. Inside is a blade that looks like a hidden weapon.
The Golden Crow's Feather of Eternity. Designed specifically for gouging out a dragon's eyes. You humans seem to think the longer the name, the more formidable the weapon. But this little thing isn't even good for trimming my nails.
I turn and look around the vast treasure trove. I never expected your collection would be all weapons. Do dragons have hobbies too?
Your kind brought them here willingly.
I imagine they weren't, particularly polite about it.
Indeed. It's a shame those who brought them to me are all dead. And I'm still alive.
So the sword that sealed you away, was it really given to you by the sacred adjudicator in the mural?
He was just lucky to get his hands on it, and fortunate enough to drive it into my chest. But only its true master can wield its power.
And that sword is inside me now. Does that mean I'm its true master? I clench my fist, but maybe my timing is off. The phantom of the greatsword doesn't appear as I'd hoped. Rounding a thick stone pillar, I found myself staring not at weapons but at a seemingly endless hoard of treasures, fine clothes, paintings, musical instruments. Shocked, I can only stare until I realize I just swallowed my saliva.
If you want something, just reach out and take it.
Reaches out for Sylus. In the flickering firelight, our shadows intertwine on the dimly lit wall.
Just like this. Let your greed and desire burn a little brighter.
Guys, I can't handle this! This map makes me me think things. His tail glides up my calf. Smiling, the fiend leans in to whisper into my ear.
This is how you'll become worthy enough to be my meal.
Holding a gem, my hand clenches in fear. I turn my head as his tail suddenly tightens around me. He laughs, watching me struggle in his grasp. No wonder you spare me. You want to fatten me up before going in for the kill.
Even so, you still cling to that gem despite being so close to death's sweet embrace. You truly are a source of entertainment.
Enjoy my company while you can. I might bring you a deadlier experience next time.
Who says death can't be entertaining in itself?
The firelight casts shadows under his eyelashes. He leans in. He's so close that I can feel his breath enveloping me. It's reminiscent of liquor's intoxicating aroma.
I'll be waiting with bated breath.
That was just stage 2? What? Okay, right, before we carry on though, in all seriousness, I very, very quickly need to go and charge my headset, because my headset's like on the verge of dying, so I'll be back in a minute. Hold on. Okay, phone is fully charged, headset is fully charged. I had to change it to a jumper because I was bloody cold. Let's get on with it, so... Oh my god, this cold can fuck off already. That night, the dragon places me with all of his treasures that he's gathered. It's as if I'm one of them. It appears like everything is present, but all I can grasp is the moonlight descending into the lair from an opening. Whenever I close my eyes, the sound of howling wind inside the cave sends me back to that blood-red valley. All I can hear is the dragon's cries. The moment those blades pierce his chest, the same pain and fury also run through me. Perhaps a fragment of the dragon's soul truly did enter my body the moment I pulled out the sword. At the time, I didn't understand the implications. I also didn't know this would mark the start of a curse. Fucking worth it if I say so. Day 2. Oh. As dawn arrives, I lie on a pile of gold, squinting at the lackluster jewels. I was twirling the fiend bait in my hand for the 3rd time. He's just going to fatten me up before savoring the kill. I can't let everything go his way. The source of his power is from his right eye. If I can take it. After a night of turning it over in my mind, I've decided I need that eye. And with that eye, I might just be able to escape the dragon and avoid the fate of having my soul devoured. Which means I'll have to strike first. It'll definitely take more than one attempt, and I may not even be able to wound him, but testing the waters can't hurt. He's after my soul, he won't just kill me off. Besides, if he's going to treat me like a pet cat, he shouldn't be surprised if he gets scratched. Hence where the kitten nickname probably came from. Walking down the stone staircase, I find myself circling around the broken central pillar over and over. The steps gradually merge with the ground and extend into the depths below. The dragon rests here. I found you. Okay. Let's be perfectly calm about this. Okay, this is what we saw in the trailer. First off, he looks fucking amazing from the back view, but let's just be very careful, very slow, very polite. God. Fucking hell, can we walk any louder if we try? Take the chance. Let's go. Oh! I knew it.
Your footsteps are noisy, and you breathe heavily. Consider yourself lucky. At the moment, I'm bored to tears.
You are so attractive. This is not fair. You'd be a fool to think I only brought one dagger. Oh. Okay, never mind. This is a better. You.
Child's play. I admit you're clever at times, yet your skills leave much to be desired.
What? What an asshole.
If you still have tricks, now is the time to use them, mortal. I could use a stretch.
Direct attack doesn't work. I'll have to try a more subtle approach. I don't have anything else. I was just bored and wanted to play around. You'll let me go, yes?
Before you tried to kill me, did you consider that it'd end like this?
I don't want to strangle him. My hand won't make it around his neck. He is chunky. Yep. There we go. I told you.
I see. Your overconfidence truly led you to believe I'd be merciful. Feel your heartbeat right now.
Oh, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling
Don't forget, if I apply more pressure at this very spot, your heart will never beat again. Are you going to stay this weak forever? This will be the mark for the first time.
Oh my god, he actually does. Oh my god.
Until this mark disappears, you will have 2 more chances to take my life. Prove to me that you can be stronger.
Oh my god, he's actually marking us every time we try to kill him. Oh my lord. Infold knew what they were doing with that scene, guys. God damn it. My first hunt ends in me being branded with a mark from the dragon. Aside from the dragon who resides in the cave's depths, there's also the cave's opening above where light pours in, and that's another challenge to overcome. Even if the dragon has no interest in hurting me at the moment, I can't let myself stay trapped in this gilded cage with no way out. I tear out the golden silk carpets from the dragon's lair and weave them into a rope. Using his collection of weapons, I carve the footholds into the wall. I throw the rope up again and again. With every fall and fresh wound, the gap between me and freedom grows a little smaller. The dragon knows about my escape plan. Sometimes he even sits on the pile of gold, resting his head in his hands as he watches. He neither helps me, nor stops me. It takes me a while to realize he isn't just watching, he's studying me out of sheer boredom. Just like I used to watch a cat in the sanctuary that kept trying to jump over a wall it could never clear. Oh dear. Finally managed to reach the top. 5 days later, at the break of dawn, I finally pull myself out of the cave's opening. But I learned that while I found a way to freedom, it's also another dead end. Outside the lair, the abyss seems bottomless. One can only gaze upon a city of ebony, Tara City. It is a place where fiends lurk. Oh my god. Tea, when you are sick, is like a remedy, I swear to god. An endless crimson mountain range covered with forests that are void of life with their scorched trees surrounds the lonely city. Behind me, a narrow ridge snakes downwards like the spine of a dragon. Between the vertebrae lies a vast, yawning chasm. Oh! Fuck me, that scared me.
Die if you can't make the jump.
As I prepare to sprint and leap, the dragon lands behind me. You won't let me die, or else you won't be able to have my soul. However, you're not concerned about me running away.
If you can go down without dying, then you may come and go as you please. I'm also curious to see where a sorceress who consorts with a fiend thinks she can go.
With his arms crossed, he floats in front of me. I shoot a glance at his dragon horns and tail. You're skilled in flapping your tongue to annoy people.
Thank you. It's one of my few strengths.
Of course that is. Take that as a fucking compliment. I still haven't found the Judicator's oracle who judged me. My revenge is far from over. Looking for him is better than staying here.
Don't bother. Even if you leap down these 21 bones, no one in your hometown will be waiting for you.
I stop in my tracks. What do you mean? The dragon tosses me a blood-stained bag. What's in it?
Eyes. Crows pecked out the eyes of the person you're looking for.
Is that where he got the whole idea for Mephisto? My gut tells me this isn't the dragon's doing. What happened?
You had me destroy a sanctuary, but the Legion of Justitia took it further. They wiped out an entire city under the pretense that doomsday is nigh.
Dragon leisurely floats in front of me, a wicked smile on his face, a blood-red vortex swirling deep in his right eye.
The Ivory City is a burning purgatory now. A rare sight indeed. Shall I take you there?
At the highest point of the Dragon's Ridge, crimson clouds surge upwards. I'm swept into a boundless sea of roaring flames. Oh my god! Hold on, I need to go sort my throat out. Oh, I hate when I'm about to have a coughing fit. I'm so sorry, guys. Back to your regularly scheduled program. After experiencing a moment of vertigo, I feel as if I'm soaring through the air. A massive shadow glides over the burning Ivory City below. The clash of steel echoes from bloodstained streets. Stirred by wings, the air carries blood's metallic scent along with a burnt acrid smell. These are the scenes the dragon once witnessed. The memories replay in the soul that's hidden within my body.
Humans don't need fiends. Their own fear is enough to bring about the world's end.
It's as if this cruel spectacle of people destroying each other wasn't entertaining enough. I soon find myself falling. My soul trembles in pure ecstasy as I soar through the roaring flames. I pay little attention to the warm droplets that splash my eyes. Enough! I forcefully shove away the one responsible for these visions. The air turns bone-chillingly cold again. I lose my balance and descend. Above me, sunlight pierces through heavy cloud cover, yet the sky grows ever distant as I fall. The dragon's expression changes from cruel amusement to alarm as he spreads his wings. He flies towards me. The air no longer moves when a scorching embrace envelops me. The descent doesn't stop. It's as if I'm being held in a safe cocoon. He caught us. The day the dragon and I destroyed the sanctuary, the War of Doomsday began. I never imagined that the peace sustained for over 1,600 years could be broken so easily. It rained for 3 consecutive days in Tara's city. I sit in the dragon's lair and receive shiny trinkets every day. One night, a small mountain cat came in to play with me. It wasn't until later that I realized there's no way a mountain cat could just wander into a dragon's lair on its own. Could the dragon be comforting me? Yes, I accidentally got all my nails off. The problem is, when I put my nails on, right, it sticks at the top, but it doesn't stick at the, like, down by the cuticle, so it always pings off after a couple of days. I'm genuinely tempted to start going and getting them done professionally again. But the problem is that costs a lot of money, and I'm indecisive as heck. So I never know what I'm going to do with my nails until I get to the appointment. It's very, very problematic. After the storm clears, the sky above the dragon's nest is still shrouded in dark, swirling clouds. Ugh! From here, I see Tor City, a city of ebony, that is the opposite of my hometown, a city of ivory. That place is chaotic and evil, a home for those who are shunned by others. It's a world different from what I know. When night falls, the outline resembles the Ivory City.
What's that sound?
A faint breeze blows from behind me as the dragon unfolds his wings. He lands a few steps away from me. As I sing the final note, I close my mouth and continue gazing at the distant lights in Tor City. A requiem for the departed.
Sing it again.
Haven't you ever heard someone sing before?
I've never heard you sing.
He sits next to me, and his tail curls behind me. The lights in Tor City are always brightly lit. Unlike the flames of war in the Ivory City, desires and revelry burn.
I heard you're the princess of Ivory City.
I managed a stiff smile. I was supposed to be a weapon to slay dragons. They told me I could kill a dragon, so they filled my head with a lot of things about them. But when they decided to execute me, they said I was a dragon.
That's how humans are. They fear those who are different.
Very true. The night breeze rolls across the ground and carries a scent of charred trees. Maybe there's another forest fire nearby.
Why can't you leave that place behind?
I shield a flickering white candle in front of me. Its flame is about to go out. It's not that. I just lived there for a long time.
Ah, you consider that place your home.
Maybe I just miss the cats, dogs, and the birds there.
Face it. No matter how much you hate it or want to leave, a home is still a part of your soul. The more you try to excise it, the more you'll be reminded of who you are.
I feel that. I left my hometown when I was about 20 odd because my parents decided to move from England to Wales. And my life has not been the same since. I've moved from Wales and England like multiple times. I'm currently based in England. I have a funny feeling that me and Kate, my husband, will probably be looking at moving to Wales again in the future just because things are cheaper over there and the houses tend to be like nicer for what you're paying for them. But we need to get the car running. I need to kind of get more of a better job, you know, that sort of thing. But I feel that because like I go to my hometown now and even though I recognize it, I don't at the same time. So I definitely feel that. I do miss there sometimes, but I wouldn't want to move back there now. I have nothing to go home to, really. When I don't respond, he changes the conversation to the topic of my supposed crimes.
Enlighten me. What do you and dragons have in common?
We have nothing in common. I just broke the rules by keeping a golden lamp with an engraved dragon. Aside from the one in the fiend-slaying god, no dragons are allowed in the sanctuary. But I could only talk to that little dragon. And one day they caught me talking to it. Even now I can't help but laugh when I remember the Judicator's oracle expression upon seeing that obsidian dragon coiled around the lamp. To think a carefully trained dragon-slaying weapon could cherish a dragon instead. The Judicator's oracle looks like he'd been attacked by a dragon. Hysteric, he ordered me to destroy my dragon. I know it's just an object. Destroying it would be easy. I remember clutching the little dragon as I was forced into a corner. The shadows of the crowd engulfed me like a tide. But I didn't want to listen to them that day. The essence of the Ivory City is reflected in its citizens. People dress nicely, exude grace, and possess untainted souls. The Judicator's oracle says desire is the seed of calamity. Excessive indulgence will allow this disease to grow quietly. So I had to act like everyone else. I needed to abide by proper etiquette, say the right words, and bind my hands and feet with invisible white threads. All these things turned me into a puppet without a heart. But they still burned my dragon. To kill my dragon, they framed me for a great crime. They sentenced a puppet to death because it had one desire. Oh. Since they branded me a sorceress, fine then. How could I not do what a sorceress is supposed to do? Strands of my hair flutter as I look at the dragon beside me. Since they destroyed what was most precious to me, it's only fair that they surrender what's most precious to them. Everyone wearing a sacred robe should have their chest split open to see their truest selves. The threads binding me are cut away one by one. I tighten my fist and finally see what's wrapped inside, a heart still beating. Revenge and plunder. That's my desire. If you can make it happen, my soul is yours. Night grows colder and the candle finally flickers out. The dragon doesn't respond to my deal. He just leans in closer.
Do you know what you look like right now?
A blushing idiot.
You're a young dragon who just grew her horns.
I mean, should I get horns for my headset? Upon imagining this, I lower my head and start laughing. Maybe he's right. With my little dragon gone, horns grow in my heart.
Growing dragon horns symbolizes a rebirth. It's a good thing.
What about you? How did it feel when you grew your horns?
It was nothing special.
Bullshit. The dragon sits back down, avoiding my gaze.
It just hurt a bit.
Then are you a dragon or a human? Maybe he doesn't hear me, or maybe he just ignores it. He lets out a chuckle. I know my request can be considered unreasonable. It's fine if you can't do it.
Even if your desire is to resurrect the people of the Ivory City, it's still within my capabilities.
Fucking hell, how powerful are you? Is this a fiend's act of kindness?
People are far more interesting alive than dead. If you
Okay.
truly want revenge, the best way is to keep them alive. Or would you say this world is the closest thing to hell itself? You can only feel pain when you're alive.
His expression is as malicious when he speaks, but his eyes sparkle like gemstones. I recall the dragon in the valley with a sword in his chest. Is this the wisdom you've learned as a dragon?
You faced death before. You should know the answer.
Do you think you'll devour my soul first, or will I pluck out your eye first? Dragon ignores my mischievous question and looks beyond Taurus City.
Sing that song again.
I know our conversation is brought to a close. It's boring without music. It sounds better with an organ accompaniment. Can you get one for me?
It's a simple matter. Consider it done.
He gets up to leave, and I grab hold of his tail. Hey, do you have a name?
Does it matter?
You can't eat me for now, and I won't be leaving anytime soon. Looks like we'll be stuck with each other for a while. So what should I call you? Demon, dragon, or maybe Drago? The fiend gives me a cold stare. Sensing his boredom, I shut my mouth, and then I hear 2 faint syllables rumble from his throat. Stayerus, or are you telling me to stay clear?
It's an ancient Philosian word. Since you can't read it, you probably won't understand it.
How about I call you by a name that sounds similar? Is Sylus alright with you? Oh, we named him!
Call me whatever you want, but don't expect me to respond.
We named him. We called him Sylus, and he just kept the name? Oh my lordy lord. Oh, this game. The dragon rises, and his unseen wings stir up small gusts around him. Where are you going, Sylus? Takes a half step back and falls off the cliff.
I'll be resting.
On that night, I learn the dragon's name. I see him again in my dream. He falls into the valley as soldiers from the Legion of Justia thrust their weapons into his chest. He slides down, and sharp rocks tear into his flesh. A dragon's roar fills the valley and then slowly fades into silence. But at the bottom of the valley is not a dragon laying there. It's a young man, barely clinging to life. Odd. This fucking game, bro. This game. Taurus City sits near the foot of the dragon's lair. The origin's name of its name is lost to time, but it's said to be connected to the abyss. And unlike other cities, Taurus City's market is, Still we passed by, a wanderer's head was being displayed.
You reacted quickly. Should I remind you that you're currently fiddling with a wanderer's thigh? What? Are you terrified?
Oh, shut up. No, I just suddenly thought of something. That painting we were looking at earlier. Is the canvas made from dragonhide? What? Are you terrified?
I don't remember my voice sounding this annoying.
I dragged the dragon into one strange shop after another, even though I knew there won't be any pipe organs for sale. I'll take what's most valuable in this world. That's the deal he silently agreed to. But right now, I just want to see an invincible fiend looking troubled. You have no intention of disguising yourself?
No need. No one would believe a fiend would wander around a market. Besides, everyone sees a fiend differently. Some see ugliness, others see horror, cruelty. What they see isn't me. They only see their own hearts.
I hold up a mirror from a stool. It reflects the face of the dragon. Can you guess what I see when I look at you? He lowers the mirror as if he heard a childish joke. He leans closer.
At the very least, I'm a lot more handsome than I was depicted in that fiend-slaying god mural.
God damn it, we shouldn't have said that. I thought the famous market of Tourist City would be much more interesting given how it's known for fiend-related items. Turns out to be just a bunch of normal stuff.
You won't be able to find wind chimes made of finger bones anywhere else.
I pick up a small obsidian sculpture. They even have a goat bone amulet. People in the Century dislike these kinds of things because they believe horns represent fiends. Yet they're quite popular here.
Do you want it? In that case, you can carry this stuff back by yourself later.
I want something smaller and more intricate. There's a fiend's horn ring, a fiend's wing necklace. This volcanic stone pendant isn't bad.
It's not bad.
Sylus leans down to look, however he scoffs.
Pitch black and shaped like a crippled dragon.
I place the pendant back. I turn my head and my eyes light up again. Look at this fiend's eye bracelet. Isn't it more adorable than the treasures in your lair?
You see a cheap, thin coating as beautiful. Are the cracks special? Did you come here just for these?
Can't believe I almost forgot how sharp your tongue is after we spent so much time together. Getting a nice word out of you is like pulling teeth. I fiddle with the bracelet in front of me. Since my taste doesn't seem to align with yours, why don't you tell me about the most valuable piece in your collection?
The painted oil lamp made out of pure gold and that ruby necklace. You wouldn't use them if I gave them to you. Why are you interested in cheap things?
He's jealous. You actually measure worth based on monetary value?
There's another way.
I sigh dramatically and click my tongue, trying to appear deep and wise. You certainly live up to the stereotype of dragons being greedy for treasure. However, true value comes from something a little bit warmer. Take this bracelet, for instance. It might not look impressive, but it carries a great significance. Ignoring his dark, brooding look, I grab the dragon's hand and without waiting for permission, slip the bracelet onto his wrist. Here, look at the words engraved on it.
The fiend shall always shield you. How warm and comforting.
He's so mocking. The dragon glances down at the bracelet, but doesn't take it off right away. The pupilless merchant senses something and quickly faces up. He taps his tobacco pipe with pinpoint accuracy on the bracelet.
One piece of information, or 30 gold coins for the bracelet.
For this bone bracelet? At best, it's worth... I'm about to start haggling, but when I look up, the dragon is already opening his pouch. A cascade of gold coins spills from his hand onto the counter. Oh my god, you can see the veins on his arms. I've just realized. Holy shit. The blind merchant doesn't move to count them. His ears just twitch slightly.
You've given too much. Rules are rules. I'll keep the gold and give you 2 pieces of information. First, the fiend has returned. The Legion of Justicia will march to Taurus City soon.
What?
You two need to be careful.
Dawes and I exchange a glance. The merchant, expressionless, turns his face towards me.
As for the second one, before long, the fiend will meet his destined arch-nemesis once again. Right over there.
He tilts his pipe and my eyes follow. In the distance beyond the barren forest, I spot an obsidian spire jutting out. I hook my arm around the dragon's neck, stand on my tiptoes and whisper into his ear. Is that the place where you tried to eat me the first time?
Do you wish to return for the sake of nostalgia?
Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't see why not. Who knows, maybe something unexpected will occur out there. I've got a bad feeling about this.
An abandoned, dilapidated chapel won't offer anything worth the trek. Don't forget why I'm here with you.
I let go of the dragon's neck and pretend to be displeased. It's not like you just found out I'm insatiable. If I can't get the organ, I'll just grab a few other things as consolation. That, these, and these, don't they all suit you perfectly? I quickly pick up a few trinkily designed accessories and shove them into the dragon's arms. And then I stand on my tiptoes to hang a bone wind chime on his horn. What? Art gazes me. I blink at him as I'm still standing on my tiptoes. The evening sky casts a soft, rosy glow over the dragon. He looks at me for a moment, then takes the coin purse on the table.
Since you want all of them, don't leave a single one behind.
Even now,
take everything. We're leaving.
He is still a sugar daddy as a fucking dragon. That's hilarious. I open my arms to the dragon and he lifts me. He carries me and my treasures as we soar over Tourist City. Oh my god, he literally is still a sugar daddy even as a fucking dragon. A lot of his current personality makes sense now. During my days in the dragon's lair, Sylus and I achieved a delicate balance. I couldn't obtain his eye, and he never brought up the fiendish deal that would cost me my soul. We lived like true companions together in the dragon's lair above Tourist City. When dusk descends, we venture out for reckless raids and return with our spoils before dawn. My favourite sight was watching the Judicator's army, who had been ruthlessly extorting people with warnings of impending doom, fall to their knees at the sight of a real fiend and a resurrected sorceress. The thrill of revenge made my soul tremble, and each time he would ask me, "Is there anything else you desire?" The dragon personally nurtures my ambition and leads me from one raid to another, regardless of how dangerous the target is. As long as I say, "I want it," he fulfills my every wish without fail. Fate trembles like an uncontrollable bead rolling into a bottomless abyss. Under the guise of helping me get my revenge, he feeds the beast in my heart called desire. I know he is. Yet slowly, my heart gains new desires. Is it a desire for him by chance? This place and over here. We've already been to these places, correct? I thought I put you on Do Not Disturb. Hold on. Okay, Do Not Disturb is now turned on. This place and over here. We've already been to these places, correct? I sit cross-legged on a new cushion. I eat some fruit and mark several locations on a star map. The pomegranate I had set my... Pomegranate? Hold on a minute. Pomegranate? Why are there so many references to Hades here? Fucking hell. Right. Story time for those of you who don't know. So Persephone, who is Hades' wife, apparently in lore, I think, she ate a pomegranate with 4 seeds in it, which meant she had to spend 4 months with Hades a year or something like that. I've heard that somewhere. But pomegranate is very commonly associated with the devil. We've just referenced a pomegranate, and Sylus has a text chat with a pomegranate on it. Coincidence? I think not. This one of the reasons I probably thought he was like a demon sort of thing. Obviously dragon, demon, not that, I wasn't that far off, but it makes me curious. Are we gonna get more myths? Could you imagine if we got more myths like this? Jesus Christ, my wallet would start screaming again. The pomegranate I had set my eyes on gets taken away before I can move my hand. Ignoring my glare, Sylus taps the edge of the star map.
Didn't you say you wanted the minerals and starships here?
His tone barely conceals his excitement. On my shoulder, the mark he left faintly burns with the blood-red gleam in his eyes. I touch the burning mark and recall the sanctuary we raided 2 days ago. Adjudicator's oracle, wearing a splendid white robe, is held up by one hand. A rabid, bestial cruelty boils in the dragon's eyes. Back then the mark hurt just like this. I shook my head and decided not to think about whether the pain was an omen of things to come. I rest my chin on my hand as he lets out a long-drawn "oh." You remember everything I said? Sylus raises an eyebrow and takes a blood orange from the silver platter. I quickly snatch it away. When he's caught off guard, I arc my back like a cat and pounce. I press a silver knife against his neck. Be honest with me, what do you gain from indulging my desires like this? I pin him down against a cushion. The knife and bleeding wound dissipate into crimson light particles as he chuckles. Sylus looks up at me. We can feel each other's breaths. As he raises his head, his nose gently brushes against mine.
What about you? What's in it for you to attempt an assassination with such a weak hand?
Before the curtains, our eyes meet. The afterglow is reflected in his eyes, which emit a surreal warmth. A strange flutter brushes against my heart and a soft laugh escapes my lips. I return to my original spot before peeling and savoring a pomegranate. You don't need to tell me. The greedier the soul, the more delicious it is. Am I mistaken? In any case, let's hope it doesn't backfire on you. Ooh. Every time he does that and he gets close, it's like, whoa! Because my monitor is like quite big, so I see this very clearly on my side. Sylus laughs. As I take another pomegranate seed, he leans in and snatches it with his teeth.
Likewise. You haven't fled because you're waiting for an opportunity to take my eye. Is that right?
As I stare into his eyes, I find that I truly don't want to hurt him. Besides the horns and tail, he's almost no different from a human. Oh my god. Aside from searching for places to plunder, the dragon and I often meet up at the top of the lair. Sometimes I tell him stories I've heard. He rarely speaks as if he's engrossed. Or perhaps he just wants someone to watch the moon with him. Occasionally the dragon talks about himself. He speaks about the myriad of dragon-slaying weapons in his treasure trove and the 108 ways humans have tried to kill him. But most of the time we just sit together and say nothing. The gentle knight smooths his sharp scales and reveals his true form. Oh my god. The sun is setting and the rocks still retain daylight's warmth. Drowsy, I'm in the middle of relaxing and drying my hair, but I just washed.
Does your song truly need an organ? We already bought a bone flute.
I don't know when the dragon decided to lie down next to me. I pat his damp hair. Why don't I teach you the song since you like it so much?
No.
You don't want to? Or you don't think you can learn it? I cup his face in my hands and make him meet my gaze. I just realized something these days. You don't understand a song's melody, can't see the beauty in patterns, and can't even taste the flavors of food. Is that right?
Dragons don't need those things to survive.
He escapes from my hands, yet I detect a hint of awkwardness in his words. You act mature, but you were sealed away for so long. Sylus, you're still a young dragon, aren't you? You only just learned how to hide your wings. I gently stroke the horns on top of his head, then my hand glides down his prominent spine and reaches his tail. But you can't even hide your horns and tail. Are you an adult? Don't tell me you're just acting mature because you're worried about ruining your fiendish image. The dragon stays silent and flicks his tail away from me. He loops it around us and touches the small on my back.
Are you trying to say you've uncovered my secret?
A defiant force gently pulls me towards the dragon's chest.
All right. Let's assume there is a young dragon before you. What will you do? Eat it?
I tell it that we're doing something humans call hugging.
Then do humans still hug each other, even when they want to kill each other? Like us.
Clouds drift across the sky and cover the moonlight for a moment. It's difficult for me to discern his facial expression. Some words are like moonlight hidden by the clouds. Once the moment passes, there's no need to say them anymore. I roll into a more relaxed position and lie on my back. What does a human soul taste like? We've known each other for so long, but I've never seen you eat. Have you never eaten a soul? The dragon remains on his side. He stares at me as if my face holds secrets he hasn't uncovered yet.
Most human souls are disgusting. They're even less appealing than a wanderer's proto-core.
When I first saw you, you said my soul was lackluster. Was that actually a compliment?
Indeed. It's as lifeless as a slice of turkey meat.
Hey, turkey can be good if you put it with the right things. Thinking back, I can't help but laugh.
Is there something else you want?
No. Maybe I just wanted to know if a dragon capable of luring humans into darkness could truly feel that the human emotion called love, a desire that goes beyond mere survival. In his world, apart from survival and killing, could there also be room for organs and hugs? Or maybe the person next to me only appears to be human, and his indulgence towards me is just so he can obtain my soul. Sylus, those gems and weapons are boring. If you want to cultivate my desire, you need to give me something rarer. This time, I can't stand being the only one who's troubled by this fault, so I demand something from him he can never own and never will offer. Your love. As expected, he looks surprised and then laughs. My god, that
A fiend's love. What are you going to do with something that doesn't exist?
If it doesn't exist, then it's even more precious.
Speak. What does it mean to truly love a person? Have you ever loved anyone before?
Aww. No, but I know exactly what to do. I'm not ready. I move closer to him and lift myself up to plant a kiss on the dragon's forehead. Aww. When humans fall in love, they want to kiss it. Maybe dragons feel the same way. The dragon's claws sweep across my cheek, and once again he looks at me as if I'm prey.
But maybe you should know the fate that befalls a dragon's lover.
What does he mean? Our city tavern is always open. On stage, a woman wearing a fiery red dress has just left. Amidst the boisterous I can't fucking read that word. Canopy from the drunkards, I sit next to Sylus, who's in the shadows by the window. I wear a hooded cloak. How are the souls here? Does their scent make you feel nauseous?
It's chaotic, but it's still better than the hypocritical sanctuary.
A waiter has placed a wooden cup filled with red liquid in front of me before walking away. Under the lights, a dragon's roar suddenly resounds. An actor with dragon wings on his back sings center stage. Sylus didn't bring me here for a midnight snack. You're already a dragon. Why do I need to watch a fake one?
Don't you humans like stories? Watch it.
It seems to be a very long story. The actor who's playing the dragon sings for a long time without changing. Bored, I stir the beef sauce on my plate. Words fly over my head since I'm barely paying attention. The body next to me is warm. I wrap the dragon's tail around myself and move closer. Resting my head on his shoulder, I drift in and out of sleep. Other cities should be chaotic because of the Legion of Justia, but the people in Tor City still have happy lives.
The people here are like seeds. They only grow if they're fortunate. Even if they sprout, they might not survive the next day. They can only live in the moment.
Are we also people who might not survive the next day?
What are you trying to say?
I grab the dragon's wrist. Smiling, I narrow my eyes. I want to say something that's more precious than any treasure a human could obtain. I like you. I like who you are right at this moment. I turn away and notice how the dragon's face is faintly reflected on the window. I secretly watch him and notice his smile that vanishes as quickly as it appears.
Turn around.
Oh. He grabs my shoulder and forces me to face him.
Are you trying to move me with your human love?
Maybe. I said it because I wanted to. Now that moment has come and gone. The dragon pulls my hood over my eyes. My heart slightly trembles, but all I receive is a gentle flick.
Too late. I'll remember this.
God damn it! I turn and the story on stage has reached the final act. The actor playing a fiend embraces and kisses his lover. At the same time, he plunges his blood-soaked claws into her chest. Dragons kill their human lovers? At night, the dragon carries the sleepy girl through tourist city's crowded alleys. No one spares him another glance. It's truly like he's an ordinary human returning home in the moonlight. Sylus, I don't understand the play you made me see. Maybe I fell asleep halfway through.
Then sleep. It wasn't an interesting play in either case.
I want to hear it. You must tell me or else I'm gonna have nightmares.
It's about a dragon.
Figures surround them. He could fly her back to the dragon's lair, but tonight he wants to talk with her a little bit
In the
longer.
beginning, the dragon lived in a valley with other dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Amongst his kin, he was the only one with a human appearance. He mistakenly believed he was a normal person.
Why do I feel like this is talking about him?
But as he grew older, horns sprouted from his head and a tail from his back. He had never seen anything like this on someone before. He was scared. So he picked up a blade because he wanted to remove them, but the horns and scales would grow back, dripping with blood. It didn't matter how many times he cut them.
He turns and walks onto a small path. There are fewer people here. His voice softens as if he's actually luring her to sleep.
After a long time, he finally came to terms with being a monster with horns. But then, the love of his life appeared.
The moment she pulled out her sword, he knew she was the one destined to kill him. She was his arch nemesis. Somewhere along the way, he stopped wanting to consume her soul.
She showed him human love and companionship, making him think he could live like a human too. And slowly, without realizing it, he began to forget he was a dragon.
Maybe it was the first time she climbed onto the cave's opening and the morning light touched her dirty, scraped face. Or maybe it was her unchecked, ever-growing desire that reminded him of his own self. Or perhaps deep down, she's also a little monster with horns on her own.
Yet a monster can never truly become a human. He cannot escape his fate as a dragon, nor can he love anyone for long. Dragons have an inherent tendency to toy with human desire. But in the end, they inevitably become enslaved by it and turn into true monsters. At the end of the story, he killed his beloved. This is the dragon's curse.
As he walks away, the lights fade behind him. He pulls off his cloak, revealing the creature underneath. His form with dragon horns and a tail remains. Sylus, do you hate humans?
I wouldn't say I like them for now.
And I'm a human too. Invisible wings slice through the air, carrying the sleepy girl who soars through the skies. What about you? Why stay by a dragon's side? Oh no, I'm getting a really bad feeling about the ending now. Okay, we're on part 6. Come on, we got this. We're not gonna cry. We'll be alright. What happened that night at the tavern, along with the words we exchange, is never brought up by us again. By the end of the day, it became a dark, absurd secret hanging between us. Tourist City revels every night, where shallow desires are easier to face than genuine feelings. With the return of the Fiend, Doomsday Ominous Shadow once again haunts the war-torn lands of Sylus. Under the gaze of exterminating the Fiend, the Legion of Justia sparks war across the planet. Those who dare to oppose him are branded as sinners and put on trial in the court of Justia. The Sacred Judicator authority hangs by a fragile thread. The long-standing resentment among the people reaches a boiling point and it's fueled by the Fiend's resurgence. Meanwhile, Sylus and I pay no mind to it at all. Our path of plunder stretches across nearly every corner of the world. But amidst this feast of desires, as my thirst for revenge deepens, the cursed dark clouds gather around me and the dragon, casting ever darker shadows over our fates. God.
Please don't kill me. Spare my life. I'll I'll do anything for you.
Yes, money. I have plenty of treasures. I collected them from different places. You can find them in the inner sanctum. The key is right here.
Black-red mist wolfs behind him and the owner of the sanctuary twitches. He falls to the ground. I take the key from his stiff hand, dangle it on my pinky, and follow Sylus into a luxurious inner sanctum. I can't remember how many places we've raided. The guards and traps in this place are so remarkably sophisticated, they even managed to injure Sylus. Unfortunately for me, for them, they serve an incompetent master. I bet those guards never imagined they'd be risking their lives for a cowardly imposter. Have we made quite the name for ourselves?
After raiding so many places in a row, I thought you'd display some self-awareness.
Sylus appears disinterested, his gaze briefly scanning the treasures behind the door before moving elsewhere. Yet his eyes linger on something beyond a nearby sheer curtain. The wind lifts the curtain and reveals a massive organ in the wall. Its presence is illuminated by the setting sun.
What a pleasant surprise.
Smiling, I put down the jewelry I was holding and adjust my dress. I sit down before the organ. Malicious music resounds while the wind sweeps through the building. Sunlight casts a radiant glow and harmoniously blends with the enchanting melody. My performance ends and the sanctuary falls silent.
Why did you stop?
I get up and retrieve the sword resting near the organ. A requiem is meant to soothe the dead, but the souls in this place don't deserve it. Standing on my tiptoes, I move closer to Sylus. As soon as he narrows his eyes, I quickly step to the side and then gracefully descend the stairs. They were sanctimonious enough when they were alive. I have no intention of praising their ugly souls. What I desire is... My fingers brush over the renowned painting adorning the wall. I turn, lift the hem of my dress, and sit on the sacred throne positioned on top of the stairs. I point my toes, and in silence I hook English. I point my toes, and in silence I hook my leg around the dragon's as if he's reached the last step. Just as he leans forward, I tug him closer. To live freely and die without regrets. Our breaths mingle and our heartbeats sync. Light ripples in his eyes and his lips slowly curl into a smile. With a flick of his towel, he catches me off guard, wrapping it around my waist and pulling me in.
Are you aware of your soul's scent?
No. He meets my gaze, leaning in provocatively. His breath teasingly caresses the pulse in my neck.
It's akin to a strong liquor topped off with salt. Forever boiling and never satisfied.
A shiver ripples through me, deep in my body. The mark on my shoulder burns with a heat like never before. I wonder what's boiling inside the dragon at this very moment. There you go, head pet. I don't retreat. In this intimate proximity, I reach out and brush my fingers against his lashes. And you? What is it that you desire? The fading sunset casts a hazy glow over everything, spilling over his brow and rolling down his throat. He says nothing. I take a stance as consent, but just as I reach for his right eye, my wrist is suddenly gripped tight. Oh. Fuck this music again. The moment his skin touches mine, memories tainted by a bloody hue flash before my eyes. A blood-stained young man turns his head in unfathomable darkness. He seems to be...
You ask too many questions.
His voice shatters the illusion. I return to reality and Sylus has already released my hand. A sinister blood-red gleam flashes in his eye. Where are you going?
I've never asked you that.
It's a shame I won't ever learn how to be tactful. Mark on my shoulder throbs and burns. I move ahead of him and block his path. Were those guards not enough for you?
What?
You still want to hide it from me? I sweep the strands of hair away from my neck, revealing the mark he left behind. Whenever you hunger for souls flares up, this mark you gave me stirs too. Lately, it's been acting up more frequently. I take a step towards him. Without realizing, I caress the area around his eye. When When our skin touches again, the mark on my shoulder flares of heat and a familiar searing pain floods through me. He's struggling. I stagger back, yet an inexplicable bond persists and connects me to him.
Crossing the line again and again and again. Other than your desire, your audacity is boundless.
Uh-oh. Suddenly, a force erupts, flinging me several steps away. I brace myself against the edge of a table, steadying my stance. As I lift my head, I notice thin wisps of dark mist slipping from behind Sylus' hand, which covers his right eye. Sylus, shoot! Big clouds silently surround the sanctuary's ceiling. Half of his body sinks into the shadows and he lowers his arm with a ragged breath. Oh fuck, he's losing control. Black-red energy particles drift from corners of his eyes and his gaze is now completely drenched in blood red.
Did you forget what I truly am?
Oncoming black mist binds my limbs. That's ringing a bell from the bond. Sylus' face is lost in the shadows, hidden from view. Something's wrong with him right now. The chakra around my neck suddenly tightens and the pain from the depths of my soul strikes again. You going to devour me? No, you won't.
I won't. Have you spun so many lies that you've begun to believe them yourself? Shall I remind you? You are nothing. You are but a soul that was fed by a fiend.
This is getting very uncomfortable too. No, this isn't who he really is. The mark on my shoulder grows like thorns. It tightens its grip around my body. My strength drains away, my vision blurs, and with my senses slipping, all that remains is an empty husk.
So long as I desire it, I can feast at any time.
My body thrashes. In the vast void of near death, the chaotic screams in my head slowly crystallize. Eat him. Devour him. No! Eat him. A thin streak of gold light bursts from the mark and surges down my arm to my palm, shattering the bind that holds me. The terrifying suffocation devours my consciousness. Yet something appears in my hand and guides me to strike at Sylus. No. Oh, don't tell me we've killed him. Warm blood splashes onto my cheek. The blood-red greatsword solidifies from a phantom into reality, and I thrust it. Shit, I press the wrong button, and I thrust it into his chest. Fuck. Ah! His scarlet eyes widen in disbelief as we lock gazes, the air heavy with suns between us.
The dragon! The fiend has been slain!
The Judicator's Oracle bursts into the sanctuary with the Legion of Justia, their voice frantic and uneven as they shout
Capture
out.
it! Capture it now!
My hand trembles. The sword dissolves, turning into light and returning to my body. The force restraining me loosens its grip. I fall onto the pristine floor of the sanctuary. No, that sword, I didn't mean to! Blood bursts from Sylus' chest and the soldier's blades are poised right at his head. In his current condition, facing off against the Legion is a grave risk. God. I grit my teeth, get up, and shove him past the white stone doors behind us. Oh God. The door slams shut. I turn and snatch up a weapon, pointing it at the soldiers crowding in. You saw it yourselves. The fiend couldn't best me. Anyone who steps closer will meet their end by this sword. Behind the white stone doors, blood continues to fall on the floor. It seeps out from the cracks. The whispers of desire grow louder. The blood-red hue in Sylus' vision surges and boils. His gaze is nearly drowned in crimson. Ignoring the grievous injury from the greatsword, he only knows that the curse almost became true. He nearly lost his mind and killed her. The boiling, nearly irrational urge to kill rages on, refusing to calm. The wounds on his body remain open, unhealed. Oh no. He gets down on one knee and sharp claws begin to sprout from the hand covering his right eye. An irresistible force pierces through his flesh and bones. It transforms into massive wings that spread from his back. The sanctuary's pristine bell tower trembles as a savage force destroys it from within. A roar resounds from the collapsing rubble. The mad dragon spread its wings and surges forth before crashing to the ground amidst the human screams. Wings struggle to flap. He stumbles. A vortex stirs, nearly leveling all of the buildings in its path, and then he finally flies towards the distant torrent city. Okay, he's not dead yet. I say yet because I have a funny feeling this is where it's going to end up. I will admit, I'm getting really scared now. The sight of the dragon rampaging through the city and flying off towards Taurus City haunts every soul that day. When I finally break free from the chaos of the Legion and rush out of the sanctuary, I can only see his figure disappearing into the storm clouds. The trail of blood left along his flight path makes people realize this fiend is gravely injured. Soon, every faction of the Legion and every opportunist seeking to profit from the death of a dragon heads for Taurus City. I steal the armor of a dead soldier and blend into the ranks. I make my way over to the dragon as quickly as I can. I need to reach him before anyone else does, before they try to end him. Even if fate just shows me, I'm the only one who can truly kill him. But I don't want to kill him! When I arrive at Taurus City, I see nothing but soaring flames. The dragon's lair on the cliff has been reduced to rubble. How could this have even happened? The Legion of Justia have sent up numerous traps and ambushes along the way. I hear the shouts carried by the wind.
The fiend is wounded! He can't have gone far. Keep looking!
Where could he be? He's not in Taurus City, and he's definitely not in the Abyss. What other places? The brand on my neck burns with a pain from deep within my soul. It's pulling the soul fragment the dragon left inside my body. My gaze unconsciously drifts towards the withered forest and lands on the obsidian spire that has partially collapsed. Oh no.
Before long, the fiend will meet his destined arch-nemesis once again.
Oh no, we're the arch-nemesis, aren't we?
Right over there.
Oh no. His destined arch-nemesis. I force a passing officer off his mount, take his horse, and race towards the Black Chapel. The closer I get to the building, the more vivid the crimson bloodstains along the mountain path become. The horns and shouts calling for the dragon slowly fade, leaving only the rapid hoofbeats and my anxious heartbeat to fill the silence. By the time I reach the obsidian steps, the tiny stream of blood has nearly dried. When I push open the gate of the long-abandoned chapel nestled deep within the forest, the cold moon hangs high in the night sky. And the bright light filters through the shattered spire. Dazed, I see the dragon, barely alive. He lies in the center of the room. Sylus! There's no reply. I run over to him, pay no attention to the leader of Justia who have died to his claws. On the raised platform, the dragon's eyes are closed. His body is drenched in blood and the droplets dripping from the edge. How could this be? Aren't your wounds supposed to heal fast? I try to stem the bleeding, but it's futile. His chest. This is the wound I gave him. All the wounds remain as is. They don't show any signs of healing. A sudden roar resounds and the dragon opens his eyes. A fierce gale pushes me back and slams me against a pillar. A sharp metallic taste fills my mouth. His fangs are at my neck, puncturing my skin. One more push and he'd snap my spine. Sylus, you're Sylus. The mark on my shoulder boils with the agony only death could deliver. I suppress my fear, lift my trembling hand, and gently place it on the dragon's eye. A soft requiem echoes within the spacious room. The roaring slowly subsides as if something deep inside him stirs awake. The dragon begins to struggle violently. The bestial chaos in his heart and his eyes clear. When the song ends, his gaze finally reflects my face. Sylus! I close my eyes and press my lips against the dragon's. Oh, I'm gonna cry in a minute. A moment later, a familiar figure appears before me. His lashes flutter as he stumbles, collapsing with me onto the cold floor. Sylus! Sylus, wake up! Don't fall asleep! Sylus! Black mist spills out from every wound in his body as if his very life is being drained away. Our blood mixes together on the slippery cold floor. When my blood touches his chest that's shrouded in black mist, a dark pain pierces my mind. Exhilarated, my heart races. Fervent desire reverberates in my ears. My arm trembles as I raise it. Unable to control it, my hand is close to Sylus's heart. What? Oh, of course he opens his eyes now! My hand quivers uncontrollably. I grit my teeth, trying to shake off the voice in my mind, but suddenly my wrist is caught.
Don't know where to aim.
Sylus had opened his eyes without me noticing. As he presses my wrist down, a faint, weak smirk curves his lips.
I can tell you.
No. The phantom of the great sword nearly forms again. It's like waking from a trance, and I fling his hand away, breathless. Have you gone mad? A smile gradually graces Sylus's face. His eyes gleam like precious gemstones in the depths of darkness.
What about you? Before the mark disappears, you still have a chance to kill me.
Tightly grips my arm and struggles to support himself in the pool of blood. Leaning against the pillar, his tail reaches out to me.
You've got it right at my heart. So I hesitate.
Struggling to breathe, I kneel before him as I'm forced to meet his gaze. His tail moves before I can react. My heartbeat reverberates in my ears. His aura burns like flames and slowly engulfs me.
Remember? Only the fiends destined to arch nemesis can kill him. Who exactly do you think that is?
An inexplicable, raging inferno surges within me. I laugh. I open my mouth and sink my teeth into his hand. I don't believe in this destined arch nemesis nonsense. Moonlight boils in his eyes. Sylus chuckles. He lowers his head and bites my shoulder like a predator. You! Pain spreads like fire, and then Sylus extends his tongue, slowly licking the wound on my shoulder. It's as if he's claiming and soothing me.
If you want to push me away, now's the time.
His tongue alternates between licking and biting, sending a strange tingling sensation through my body despite the lingering pain. He slowly licks over my throbbing wound. Yeah, he's definitely marking us. Sylus tightens his grip again and again. His eyes are filled with fervent excitement and a hunger that knows no end.
However, if you don't want to...
The mark on my shoulder that belongs to him burns. Dizzy, I lift my gaze. My strength is draining away, but I can see his wound slowly healing. Sylus, did you already know that we would instinctively want to devour each other? He did. 100%. Why did you rescue me from the abyss? I wriggle underneath him and he intertwines his fingers in mine. My hands are ensnared.
And what about you? Why didn't you just kill me earlier?
I freeze. In the moonlit silence, Sylus raises his hand and gently touches the area around my eyes. In the darkness, a kiss as gentle as a falling flower lands above my eyes. My limbs tremble, weakened by the torrent of emotions coursing through me. I gaze into his eyes for what feels like an eternity. The murky chaos that was once impossible to read is gone, and at this moment I can finally see his eyes clearly.
The fiend will meet his destined arch nemesis again, at this place. I'll admit he was correct. I told you before that I'd give you 2 more chances to kill me. Now, you only have 1.
In that instant, the turmoil in my heart settles and I twist my hand to clasp his. You only said a half-truth. I told you before that I'm greedy. I live how I want and I hate being controlled by others. If fate wants me to kill the fiend... A warm, soft, golden light spills from my palm and I press it against the wound on Sylus's chest. Then I'll save him instead.
Save me? Are you aware of the cost? Once we hold hands now, our lives will be bound together, along with our deaths. We must offer half our soul to the other. They'll be merged to forge an unbreakable bond.
Do it!
To share your life with a fiend. It might be a punishment worse than having your soul devoured. Will you truly not regret it?
I said I'll live, didn't I? No matter the cost. If following our hearts is a sin, then you and I must be the last of our kind in this world. Oh my god, this game. Moonlight replaces the flickering candlelight. As if our hearts beat in unison, he kisses the inside of my wrist with something akin to devotion.
In that case, stay by my side until the end of time.
Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. In the moonlight, the dragon's tail wraps around me and draws me into his embrace. He spreads one wing to shield us from the cold wind and the sudden midnight rain. That night, I fall into a deep sleep in his warm embrace. Oh my god! The night fog envelops me, and I feel like I'm trapped in a long, chaotic nightmare. When I wake up, I'm surrounded by a red valley filled with blooming datura. My arms feel heavy. I look down and see a huge horned creature. I hold it as it dies. I don't know why I'm here. I just vaguely remember having a dragon in a pitch-black chapel. I desperately try to recall, but the last clear memory I have of the dragon's ends on that blood-soaked night under the moon. Everything afterwards feels like shredded fragments, incomplete and scattered. It's like hearing half of a chord meant to be played with both hands. Like a dance that was supposed to be for two, with only one left to dance it alone. Maybe I'm imagining things, but after half of our souls are exchanged, I've been dreaming of him more and more, sometimes even while awake. When I'm alone, I always see him by my side. Those visions, I can't tell if they really happened or if they're just my own fantasies or if they're his. Or maybe I'm seeing the other half of his soul that's within me.
Why are you so worried? I just want to rest. I won't die.
In your current state, you might not wake up at all.
That song you played. It'd be nice if I could hear it again.
The Black Chapel is like an illusion steeped in darkness. I can't remember if I finished playing that piece, but it's a requiem, a song meant for the departed. Sometimes I think we never truly left the chapel after that night. I lived there with the dragon. For fuck's sake. We keep each other company, and while we live a peaceful life away from everyone. On days when we tended to our wounds, we'd go hunting in the forest or disguise ourselves as stop at the market. Little by little, the chapel became filled with traces of us. On the pew there'd be salve I mixed for his wounds the night before. By the stained glass, the sheath he made for my sword hangs proudly. Slowly, it feels as if we've truly made a home here together. Hang this one a little higher, and be careful with this. Don't let your horns get caught. Hey! I feel my body become weightless. Sylus had encircled his arms around my waist and lifted me. He pats me on his shoulder. My view rises in a flash and I widen, looking down to meet his gaze.
Didn't you say it should be hung higher?
His eyes gleam with amusement. I can't help but smile too. The more we're more in sync than I thought. When I raise a hand, he moves it smoothly, keeping one arm steady around my waist. He doesn't falter. I hang up each decoration from the pile on the pew, one after another. As I reach inside my bag again, my fingers brush against the only item that's left. Here's the last one, but this one's different. I tilt my head and raise my chin towards Sylus. Close your eyes. doesn't look up. He's slightly confused, but doesn't question me. Instead, he obediently closes his eyes. Sunlight caresses his hair and makes it look soft and fluffy. Smiling, I carefully place the flower crown I prepared on his head. I wasn't expecting much, but it suits you well. Sylus opens his eyes. Hesitant, he raises his hand to touch the upturned petals and gently adjusts them.
So you stayed up late these past few nights to make this?
You didn't sleep either? He chuckles without responding, reaching up to pluck in a tiny petal that's gotten caught in my hair.
Do you like flowers?
Yeah, I guess. But there aren't a lot in Tourist City. I discovered the entire woods to get this much.
The forest barely has any flowers.
What do you mean?
Hold on tight.
Before I can finish, Sylus wraps his arms around my waist and lifts me. The air brushes past us and he lets out a hearty laugh as he spreads his wings.
Since you gave me a gift, I should respond in kind. Watch your step, oh great sorceress. We've arrived.
Well, there wouldn't be like a place like this in Tourist City.
What did you think Taurus City was like?
The city's similar to its ruler.
Well, you should have developed a new impression by now. Just because you haven't seen the other sides of it doesn't mean they don't exist.
That's from my collection, because this is on my account. Now I need to take a closer look. What else haven't I seen?
Have your film? Seen enough? Wouldn't you say this angle is better?
Yeah, definitely. Too bad I can't see it all. However... Oh, I got to breathe into my mic? Okay. Did I not breathe hard enough?
You're quite daring.
Yeah, I get told that. I can be even bolder. Never suit you better than Tourist City.
That's the first time someone said those words to me. Only you and this flower can touch me here.
Alright, lovebirds, alright. Oh my god, my eyes.
You know, Taurus City can have flowers bloom everywhere, as far as the eye can see. But only for one person.
Wait. No, don't tell me it does the fade. If you do the fade, I swear. I am fuming. Yes, I can actually see where the phone landed this time. I'm fuming. That was one of the main reasons I dropped money on this card, was to see the kiss scene and it fades out. Motherfucker. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna need the cat now. That's pissed me off. Where is he? you what, guys. If I can ever recommend a pet to anybody, I'd say a cat. That's the thing, this isn't even the end. We've still got one more part yet. Okay, I should probably go and get my phone and actually finish this off. Let's get this finished. On the other side of that nightmare, the dragon never took me to the valley where flowers bloomed. On the night we exchanged souls, the sacred judicator himself led the entire legion of Justia to surround the Black Temple. They spared no effort trying to capture the severely injured dragon. The mark the dragon left on my shoulder served as undeniable proof of my being a sorceress. The news of the fiend's death spreads throughout the land. On that day, I am taken back to the Ivory City under the accusation of being a sorceress. They imprison me in the courtyard behind the ruined sanctuary, and now I can only wait to be sent to the court of Justia. The sanctuary is cold and bleak. The cat, which has never managed to climb over the courtyard walls, has put on 10 pounds. It seems to have grown accustomed to life behind these walls, bound by invisible threads. Only I know my dragon is still alive. He flies across the abyss to find me on every moonlit night. This is a secret that only I can see. So we're never physically together? Underneath the moonlit sky, Sylus sits on a withered platform between two statues. As the sound of crunching grass reaches my ears, he turns his head.
You're awake? Or were you struggling to fall asleep?
Chains drag throughout the overgrown grass as I walk towards him, reaching out my hand. He gently pulls me up and holds me in his
I've been
arms.
feeling restless. I suspect it's because half of someone's soul is being noisy in my body again.
That's a good thing. Sylus quickly brings his legs together and blocks my movement.
Don't move.
He carefully dries my dew-soaked hair with his silk handkerchief. His voice had taken on a more solemn tone, as if he's grappling with a matter of great significance. I stayed nestled in his arms, and when I lower my head, I see his curled up tail. The dragon's tail coils around my ankle. Even the deepest wound on its tip has almost completely healed. I fell asleep while waiting for you these past few nights. Why didn't you wake me up? As the silk handkerchief absorbs the moisture at the ends of my hair, Sylus allows me to turn my head. A gentle smile graces his lips.
Someone was dreaming and continued to say my name.
Hey! I lift his chin and scrutinize him. With a relaxed grace, the corners of Sylus' mouth curl up. He nuzzles my fingers.
Did you actually dream of me?
Have you never dreamed of me? He doesn't speak. He just looks at me.
Before I was sealed away, I did dream of you. I just didn't expect I'd be willing to dry that person's hair one day.
And you so happened to be enjoying it. So what did I do in your dream exactly? Did I point a sword at you? The candlelight flickers alongside something else in Sylus' gaze.
What about you? What did I do in your dream?
The boy from my dreams appears before me once again. Underneath the moonlight, the horns and tails of the fiend reflect a grim glow. Meet his gaze. Numerous words bubble up within me, yet they become entangled on the tip of my tongue. On this dimly lit night, I hold him close and pour all my strength into hugging him. Since you've taken half of my soul, even if the world turns its back on you, I'll always stand by your side. You're not even allowed to think about leaving me. My heartbeat resounds like a drum in my ears as Sylus lowers his head. He rests his chin on my shoulder.
All right.
Candlelight washes the moon's glow in a warm hue. I lay my head on his arm and intertwine my fingers with his, reaching out to grasp the light together. Let's make a pinky promise. To never betray each other.
Our souls are bound. We will never betray each other. Even if doomsday arrives outside this sanctuary. Even if the world crumbles.
This promise can't be broken.
This promise will never be broken.
So the world thinks Sylus is dead, but we actually know the truth. Okay. Last part. On that dew-drenched midsummer night, time seemed to freeze in place. Every thought of the future remained sweet and light. After giving up half of my soul, the great sword never appeared again. Perhaps I lost the power to wield it, no longer able to slay the dragon. Does this mean the dragon's curse has been broken? All I can do is look toward Taurus City. But as time goes on, the half of the dragon soul within me burns more fiercely, a fervent desire like he is searing my mind. With the ever-changing days and nights, I start to forget who I am. Sometimes I'm the dragon hiding alone in the Black Chapel. Other times I'm a human waiting judgment in the sanctuary's courtyard. When I came to my senses one time, I found myself sinking my teeth into the neck of a soldier who was guarding me. Uh-oh. The courtyard grows quieter by the day. Perhaps there's fewer people who left Ivory City. The planet is in rapid decline. Before leaving, the last soldier tells me that the dragon has broken free from their restraints. He's gone completely mad and has nearly destroyed every city. The end of the world will be upon us. Soon this ruined planet will only have the rampaging dragon left. I haven't seen Sylus until the Doomsday Judgment arrives. They take me to the highest court of Justion Philos. Oh. This place is looking familiar. Uh-oh. The court of Justia hangs high in the sky. Under a swirling red cloud, several arbiter wings symbolizing divine retribution stay silent as they circle above. Amid the ranks of the legions Justia, the sacred judicator, wearing magnificent robes, stands on the looming platform like a lifeless statue. An ancient voice reverberates across the planet, emulating the chimes the dragon and I have brought upon the world, and the reason why this grand execution is being held in the first place.
First crime. Worshipping evil and desire, showing no repentance, letting your heart fall to corruption. Second crime. Consorting with the fiend and bearing its mark, tainting your very body with corruption.
Fucking would do it again.
Third crime. Plundering wealth and embracing insatiable greed. Actions steeped in corruption.
Chains bind me at the center. Beyond the rattling of trains as I struggle, I hear nothing. Blood surges into my head, a restless fury rising in me, dragon-like and fierce.
You are guilty on all 15 counts, sorceress. You shall be executed as a result, and it will be done immediately.
Oh no, Sylus! With a shrill cry from the arbiter wings, a bolt of lightning strikes my soul. Struggling to keep me upright, my knees buckle under the weight, but before I can stand again, another bolt of lightning rips through my mind and tears apart my senses. With my face pressed against the cold floor, I recall the image of a dragon plummeting into the valley, his chest pierced by a sword. Sylus, I remember the dragon who likes that requiem, but I've never sung it to him in full. This is the first and the last time. It's like I'm back in Taurus City at night as I sit atop the dragon's lair. He sits beside me and says, "Sing it again." Tiny notes squeeze their way out of my chest. They gradually forge the fragments of an unfinished melody. If you can't hear this now, Someone might never sing for you again. Soul-piercing lightning repeatedly interrupts my song, but I keep singing, unaware that all other sounds have faded away. The entire court of Justia falls into complete silence. Only the sorrowful requiem echoes through its halls. As the final notes fade into the earth, there is a long silence. And then, as if to respond in kind, a deep, resounding roar emerges from behind the crimson clouds.
It's here. The dragon is here. The true Doomsday judgment has begun. Get her. Get the bait.
No, they were using us as bait. Shit. The floor rumbles as the 18 towering statues surrounding the court pivots, revealing their spearheads. The Legion of Justia surges from all directions like a tide, the cold gleam of their blades pointing at the dragon. Only upon hearing the Sacred Judica's command do I realize my judgment was actually a trap for the dragon. The flames tremble on the ground. Stone feathers launched by the arbiter wings pierce through the dragon's wings, while electrified arrows from the legions lodge themselves into his scales. The wings are nearly shredded, but no amount of damage can stop a dragon in a frenzy. It's as if he feels no pain. In the end, I am the only one left standing on this vast platform. The fact that this is the last part is scaring me. Through the clouds, the dragon, battered and broken, dives towards me, his eyes filled with nothing but the pure, wild chaos of a beast. I know he's just a dragon now. He doesn't recognize me anymore. Closing my eyes, I recalled that long, drawn-out story about a dragon that I watched in a dim tavern. A man called Sylus was next to me. And in the end, the dragon plunged his bloody paws into his lover's chest.
Yet a monster can never truly become a human. He cannot escape his fate as a dragon. Nor can he love anyone for long. At the end of the story, he killed his beloved. This is the dragon's curse.
Yes, it's the end of another story. Facing the wind, I spread my arms. I want to embrace my dragon one last time, but I don't feel an embrace nor the touch of death. Just before the dragon strike lands, I feel a hand seize my wrist. Presses my hand against his chest, and I feel the resonance between two souls. Sylus? In a split second before the dragon's death blow, under the pool of our resonating souls, the blood-red grey sword reappears in my grasp. My heart lets out a silent scream, yet the sword still pierces the dragon's chest. It looks as though I was the one who plunged it in.
You must press on. Because if you don't, there's no going back.
As I fall, fate itself will plunge us into the abyss as it was written. I won't be able to go back. The dragon grips my hand tightly and uses all his strength to push the sword deeper into his own chest. It's as if an unyielding life is mocking the curse and making a final stand against fate. I hold on to the dragon's neck as we plummet through the clouds together. With the last bit of his strength, the dragon carries me away from Cor Justia. We fly over the black obsidian chapel and we crash into a valley filled with blooming datura. His body lies quietly among the flowers. In his garnet-like eyes is my reflection. Look at me. You're not allowed to close your eyes. My tears fall onto him as I lower my head. I allow him to place a kiss on my forehead. The dark red glow in his eye dims. Obsidian-like crystals crawl over the dragon's scales, slowly covering his entire body. The dragon is gone. body disintegrates. Shards of crystals begin to peel away. The wind blows through the valley, lifting those fragments like black petals wrapping around me. At that moment, it feels as if the dragon's soul is passing through my body. His life, everything about him, appears before me. Deep within a cave, the boy who grew up with dragons tightly grips the dagger. He presses the gleaming blade against the base of his tender horn. He clenches his teeth. Blood flows down a moment later, and passes his right eye that's filled with rage. It's not long before they're discovered. All the dragons in the valley are killed except for him. He's taken away as a human. When people saw the horns growing on his head, blades once sheathed were thrust into his chest. He rolls onto the rubble at the bottom of the valley. His blood boils. He doesn't know how, but he manages to stand up and his legs tremble. When he comes to his senses, everyone who hurt him is already lying in a pool of blood. Black-red mist drifts from their bodies. It travels along the dragon's horns to his tail before entering the wound in the young man's chest. His hunchback splits open. From two bloody streaks, two dragon wings struggle to release themselves. They shatter stones as they suddenly unfold. The curse he once despised has become his strength. He doesn't hesitate this time. He flies into the depths of the valley. The dragon bone cradled in my arms dissolves into petals drifting past me. Everywhere they touch, the bright red daughter of flowers turn black. I smell a floral fragrance. Is this the scent of his soul that carries a faint, scorching bitterness? Sylus. My beloved was born into apocalyptic terror. People cursed his existence, fabricated his sins, and celebrated his death. Only one person ever gazed into his jewel-like eyes, embraced his burning soul, and sung to him in the night wind. He had already etched the traces of his existence deep into my life. Yet his retaliation against fate pierces my chest like a sword. Sylus, I curse your soul. It says the best way to punish someone is to let them live forever. I curse your soul to never fade away. You'll always be tied to me. Forever. I pinched the last black petal as if grasping onto the final piece of his soul. This is my curse. Only I can grant you a true death. From the depths of the valley, a faint dragon's roars. The petal flutters, drifting far on the wind, like a dragon returning to the clouds above. I feel something sprouting from my head like tender branches. Sharp pain pierces my spine as a dragon tail replaces my tailbone. I walk into the valley that once embraced him. It's only after my dragon is gone that I finally become one with him. You recognize that scene, didn't we? From the normal playthrough? Ugh. Oh, and of course you give me a fucking... Ugh. Why was that so good but so heartbreaking at the same time? This game, I can't. Give my husband a hug. I hope you enjoyed. Expect the other miss soon because I feel like we're gonna need some therapy after that. Jesus Christ. God, the things I do for you lot, honestly, I put myself through fucking heartbreak, horniness, and everything else in between. Oh my god.